Bradford City continue their 2025-26 EFL Carabao Cup campaign with an away clash against Mark Robins' Stoke City. And in today's video, you're going to find out how both teams have gotten so far this season, what my starting 11 would be for this game if I was Graham Alexander. If you do want to enjoy today's video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. But my team Bradford City, we currently sit 4th in the League 1 table. After 5 matches, we've got 3 wins, 2 draws and 0 defeats. One of only 2 teams to have not yet lost a league match in League 1 this season. We've scored 7 goals and also conceded 4, which leaves us on a positive 3 goal difference and 11 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a draw, a win, a draw and a win. In terms of them last couple of matches then, on Saturday we had a frustrating 1-1 draw away at Peterborough. Not frustrating in the fact that we deserved to win the game really. I think a point probably was a fair result, but leading for so long in that second half to concede so late on after going so defensive was incredibly frustrating. But I'm not going to complain too much about a point away from home. We also had a fantastic 2-1 win away at Stockport County. We were dreadful in at the first half. They completely played us off the park, but we stuck in there. We changed formation at half time and made a couple of changes. We then came out, scored a couple of goals and just defended. I mean, you look at the stats, it was clearly total domination from Stockport County, but you're never really going to complain about 3 points away at Stockport. We also had a 2-1 win at home at Luton Town. This was a really good win for us. Towards the last stages of the game, again, we were defending. Luton were piling the pressure on, but I think we did do enough to win this football match. Yes, Luton had more possession, but we created way more chances, had more shots and more shots on target, all that type of stuff, and again another fantastic 3 points for us. In the first round of the Carabao Cup, we had a 2-1 win away at Blackburn Rovers because of a cow on the motorway. I missed both of our goals. Hopefully there's no cattle on the road tomorrow, but obviously Blackburn pulled the goal back just before half time. They had some decent chances, especially in that second half. Sam Walker made a few very decent saves, but I thought we did defend very well. We were very well organised, and it was again another great win for us considering the amount of changes that we made for this match. And then the match just before that one was a 0-0 draw away at Northampton. We had more than enough chances in this game to win it, just unfortunately not clinical enough on the day, but on another day we come away from there with a 2-0 win. So yes, frustrating, but again, point on the road is not the end of the world. If we compare that though to Stoke City, they currently sit top of the championship table at this moment in time, at one of 2 teams, only Middlesbrough are the other side, to have won all of their championship matches so far. After 3 games, they've obviously got the 3 wins, 0 draws and 0 defeats, but they've scored 8 goals in that time and just conceded the 2. It leaves them on a positive 6 goal difference and 9 points. The last couple of matches have obviously been a win and a win, which is incredibly surprising because Stoke normally always finish 17th since their relegation from the Premier League. So to see them top of the table, 3 games in or not, I'm sure their fans are absolutely delighted. In terms of them last couple of matches then, on Saturday they had a 2-1 win away at Southampton. As you would expect, the hosts dominated possession, had loads of shots, but just could not get any of them on target, despite Stoke going down to 10 men in that one. So Devine, I'm not 100% sure on the pronunciation of that first name, but Mobama obviously got a red card, so I can only assume he will be suspended for tomorrow. But going away to Southampton, having 10 men for over half an hour, that is an absolutely outstanding result for Stoke. They also had a 3-0 win away at Sheffield Wednesday. I think pretty much any time you play against Sheffield Wednesday and don't pick up 3 points, you'll be disappointed because of obviously their off the field issues at this moment in time. But you still got to go there and win. They scored inside the first 60 seconds of both the first half and the second half, so starting life very fastly. So we'll have to stay switched on for that, but we normally score a lot of goals in the opening 10 minutes or so, I would say, of both the first half and second halves as well. So we could maybe see it be 4-4 after 10 minutes. No goals then until half time. It finishes 8-all because of load more goals at the start of the second half, and nothing happens after the 55th minute. But still, that was a good result for Stoke City. In the first round of the Cup, they had a 0-0 draw at home to Walsall, winning just about on penalties. They massively dominated possession, but didn't really create much in this game. Looking at their lineup, I think I'm right in saying this is pretty much a full rotated side. There might be the odd 1 or 2 players. There's still a lot of quality in there. The likes of Jamie Donnelly was excellent at Leyton Orient last season. Boston Lau was very good at Fleetwood a couple of years ago. So there's clearly a lot of talent even in Stoke's B team, if you want to call it that. But I feel like they will take Bradford City more seriously than Walsall FC. And then just before that one, they started out their campaign with a 3-1 win at home to Derby County. Some late drama in that one. They came from 1 goal down, scored a 95th minute equaliser and a 99th minute winner. I know Sorba Thomas had a great start to the season. He's got a fair few goal contributions, and that Mabama, who got sent off at the weekend, he's also scored a couple of goals as well. But looking at the stats, it was total domination from Stoke City. 3 points was the least that they deserved in that one. Before we do any further though with today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 120 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. What is your score prediction for this match, and what is your starting 11 as well? I've made a fair few changes because obviously we did a decent amount of rotation on Saturday to keep players fresh and available for this match. In terms of the formation then, I know over the last couple of games we've been changing from starting as the 3-4-2-1 to then in-game changing to the 3-4-1-2 in the second half. We've done it quite a lot. We did it against Blackburn, did it against Stockport, done it against Peterborough as well. But I would still stick with the 3-4-2-1 formation to start out this game. Again, if Stoke start popping us off the park and we need to make the change, then I wouldn't be against us doing that. But in goal, I would stick with Sam Walker. I think on the whole this season he has had a very, very good start to the campaign. Nothing he can really do about the goal that Peterborough scored on Saturday, and we've seen against Stockport and Blackburn. He's made a number of very, very good saves. And even in certain cup competitions, I would like to see Joe Hilton play. Not against Hilton playing, but with Walker playing in the first round, I'd see no reason why that would change into the second round. So Walker keeps his place in between the sticks. In terms of my back three then, at right centre-back, I would stick with Matt Pennington. I thought, again, on Saturday, he was pretty solid on the whole. I thought he did a pretty decent job overall on Abraham Odo, and we saw obviously when we went very defensive and we're moving players like that position, we moved Pennington out of right centre back to more right wing back, and Bolden was in right centre back. We then did struggle a little bit. So if we wanted to keep a little bit of consistency in this side, then Pennington should start for me. In the middle, I would bring in Joe Wright. He, I'm pretty sure, will be back available for selection for this game. Concussion protocol is normally maximum 2 weeks. It will obviously, by the time this game comes around, be exactly 2 weeks since he picked up that bang to the head against Blackburn Rovers. I do think he has been a big miss for us because he's a man who will head absolutely anything that comes anywhere near the penalty area. I don't believe we'd concede that goal on Saturday if Joe Wright is in the team. So whenever he's fit and available, he should be starting in my opinion. And at left centre back, I would bring back in Kieran Kelly. Obviously he's been in and out of the side over the last couple of weeks, still just building up his fitness because obviously he missed large parts of last season through injury. He's missed a bit of pre-season as well through injury, and obviously it's an opportunity to give Curtis Till a bit of a rest, who I thought, has had a great start to the season. Kelly was very good in the first round against Blackburn, very poor though against Stockport County, so hopefully he can have another good game in this one and maybe challenge Curtis Till a bit more for his position, because right now I think Tilt's made that his own. In terms of my midfield four then, I think we're going to see a fair few changes in these positions. At right wing back, I would bring in Brad Halliday. Obviously Josh Nerfville, I think I'm right in saying, has played every minute so far in every single fixture that we have played, and yes, he's a young player who clearly keeps himself in very good condition, but I think it's important to rest, rotate, and Brad Halliday is not exactly a bad option to bring in. Yes, Nerfville is obviously a lot quicker than Halliday, but I think Halliday does deserve an opportunity, and yeah, he might get it next week against Grimsby. I think it's pretty much guaranteed that he will start that game. I think Nerfville, for me, over the last couple of games, he's just not quite been at that level. I think he started out very well against Wickham in the opening day, and then since then we've just seen flashes and glimpses. We've not seen consistency from Nerfville. A lot of his crosses failing to beat the first man despite a great assist against Luton Town. So for me, I'd give Nerfville a bit of a rest in this one, and again, he's not a bad sub to bring on off of the bench. In terms of my two holding midfielders, firstly I would go with Tommy Lee. I think for me he'd play more of that number 6 role in this one, the max power sort of role that we've seen of him, but I can only assume that Power picked up some type of knock, taking your captain off when you 1-0 up away from home, a little bit under the cosh for Jensen Metcalf, who's 21 years of age. Just does not make any sense unless Power did pick up some type of injury, and again I think Tommy Lee could do that max power job the best out of all of our other options. And partnering him, I would bring in Jensen Metcalf. Again, if you're wanting to rotate and keep players fresh, then Metcalf comes in for me for Alex Patterson for this game. We don't want to be overplaying people like Patterson. We saw Sarcevic get a bit of a rest on Saturday as well, but especially with Patterson, with his injury problems at Bradford City, we need him fit, we need him available available because he was outstanding, I thought, at the weekend. And Metcalf, for me, I think on the whole he has impressed. Obviously was outstanding against Blackburn Rovers, and then in some of the other games where he's coming on as a substitute off the bench, he's not really been on for long enough to make too much of an impact on the game. And at left wing back, I would bring in Lewis Richards. Hopefully he's back available from his hamstring injury. Obviously he picked it up in a bounce game in between Wickham and Northampton, which was 3-4 weeks ago, and Alexander said it's basically the best possible scenario for the injury, so only around 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. So he should hopefully be back available. We've seen that he is back in some sort of training, but hopefully he's available to start in this game. Give Torre a bit of a rest, because I think on the whole Torre has been good, but we've seen we conceded from a cross coming into the back post against Luton. The same happened on the weekend against Peterborough as well, and Torre's just at times switching off towards the latter stages of the game, so he needs to know he's got that competition to push him for a place. So hopefully if Lewis Richards is fit and available, he can start this game. Into my front three then, I'm pretty sure you can all predict who I would go here with. Was obviously making 3 changes on Saturday. I would assume them 3 were brought out are just all going to come straight back in. So on the right hand side, I would bring back in Anthony Sarcevic, and he would be my captain for this game, obviously with Max Power being on the bench. Sars obviously scored a couple of goals so far this season, and like I've previously mentioned, I think Sars will get better and better as the season does go on. I thought at the weekend it was hard for him to really come on and have a great impact going forward, because obviously we were trying to be a bit conservative with our 1-0 lead, but I thought he was still pretty decent at the weekend. And as my left attacking midfielder, I would go with Bobby Poynton. Again, he obviously didn't feature at all on Saturday. It was an unused substitute, which I thought was a little bit bizarre. We could have done with Poynton's ability to just control the game, keep the ball tidy in the final third, but instead we brought a centre-half on and inevitably conceded from a man basically having a free strike towards goal. Clearly, Alexander unfortunately got the subs wrong on Saturday, and hopefully he does learn from that, because we saw it quite a lot last season where we'd go defensive, part of the bus, and we'd still inevitably concede. You can't just chuck more defenders on the pitch and hope that you will just see a game out. You need some quality at the top end of the pitch, and Poynton for me certainly does provide that. Again, he's already on a couple of goals so far this campaign. And as my striker, I would go with Stephen Humphries. I've been really impressed with Will Swan so far. 3 goals in all competitions for him. Obviously Humphries just has the 1 so far, so it is another opportunity for Stephen Humphries, because I feel like that striker spot, when we're not playing Saturday, Tuesday, is Will Swan's at this moment in time, in my opinion. He's scoring a lot of goals, averaging a goal I think every 70 minutes or so in a Bradford City shirt, which is absolutely outstanding return. I've been really impressed with Will Swan. Stephen Humphries has had glimpses, flashes, but we need to see it again a bit more consistently. Similar to Josh Nerfield, was very good against Wickham, and then since then it has been more flashes and glimpses. We need some more consistency, and hopefully he can score a goal in this one. Obviously, with it being the EFL Cup, you do get 9 substitutions, and for me personally, I would go with Joe Hilton, Josh Nerfield, Curtis Till, Ibu Torre, Max Power, if he's available. Hopefully it's just more of a knock and he can still be named as a substitute. Alex Patterson, George Lapsley, Tyreek Wright and Will Swan. The players currently unavailable are Neil Byrne, Nick Powell, Callum Kavanagh and Andy Cook. Again, I'm not 100% sure on the situation with Nick Powell. If he is available for maybe 30 minutes, I'll probably have him on the bench over somebody like a George Lapsley, because I don't think he had a great impact on the weekend. So the players who miss out then through selection will be Zach Cady, George Goodman, Aidan Baldwin, Clark Adore, Adam Wilson and Tyler Smith. I wonder if we'll see any of them depart at all throughout this transfer window. Not particularly Aidan Baldwin, but obviously Hayden and Goodman on loan. We don't really know the future of Clark Adore. He might play against Grimsby in the EFL Trophy, and obviously Adam Wilson and Tyler Smith have been told they don't have a future at Bradford City. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there then for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 120 likes as I mentioned at the start of today's video, and don't forget to get your score predictions in down in the comment section down below. For me personally, I'm going to go with a 2-0 defeat. I feel like Stoke won't make many changes for this one. They've had a great start to the campaign, and unfortunately I do think they'll come away from this game with all 3 points, but they won't come away from the game with any points. They'll progress through into the 3rd round, but a win would be nice. I will obviously be making the journey down. I'm looking forward to it. New ground for me to tick off as well. But thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one.